Hello, I'm John Cadillac Seville, sitting in for my mentor, Tony Fapiano. It's good to be here today. And with me, I have two very special people here in the community that I've had the pleasure of actually known for a long time. Liza Petra, the Executive Director of the Guilford Foundation. Good to see you, Liza.
Thank you.
And also you, Sean Kinnear from the Guilford Community Fund, the Vice President, nonetheless.
That's exactly.
But we were told
Thank you,
Tony
John.
Fapiano would be here, so we're feeling a little...
I got some big shoes to fill here, too, but we're going to do our best to handle that. But Liza, why don't we start with you? Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do at the Guilford Foundation? And some people have probably heard the name who are watching now, but they really don't know what it's all about.
Sure. And actually, the Guilford Community Fund and the Guilford Foundation get mixed up a lot, which
Yeah,
is okay because we do
imagine.
similar things. The Guilford Foundation exists to connect people who care with causes that matter to them, and we do that by maintaining endowment funds, so a permanent pool of funds that then we use a portion of those funds each year to invest back in the community. Right. So it's really a source of permanent funding within Guilford for Guilford causes and for the people of Guilford. And I would say that the difference probably, and Sean, I'll let you speak to this, is the Guilford Community Fund is really every dollar that gets raised goes out immediately into the community, whereas with the Guilford Foundation, we raise the dollars, we maintain it, we invest it, we look out for it, and then we invest a portion of it back into the community to ensure that it exists for Guilford forever.
And what you do, Sean, I mean, it's dispersed immediately.
It's dispersed
Pretty
each
much.
year. Yeah,
Okay, each year.
It is dispersed each year. And one of our troubles is each year we are dependent on the whims of the people or the economy or just situations in town. If we don't raise enough money in any given year, then the donations that we have to then send out to our agencies are reduced. Yeah, we're pretty much, we get it. We're like, we get it. We hold on to it for a few months and then we give it right back out, all of it.
And are you finding now, too, with the recession, which has been going on for quite some time right now, it's getting more and more difficult to get donations?
Absolutely.
Is your work getting a lot harder?
No, yeah. It's harder for everybody.
Sure.
But yeah, when people have their decisions about what to do with trying to help somebody else, it's harder if you don't have quite as much yourself.
And then the flip side of that is that there is more need within the community.
There's more need at the same time. That's correct.
And if I can pick up on something you said, Sean, about every year you raise everything starting from zero. I think what's really interesting about this partnership that we now have, thanks to the vision of Bill and Kate Lee, who are terrific philanthropists and community leaders and have been involved with the Guilford Community Fund for years and years and also involved with the Guilford Foundation, is that they saw that as a challenge and wanted to be sure that there would be some funding available at the beginning, all the time, forever. So they established the Bill and Kate Lee Family Endowment Fund to support the annual fund of the Guilford Community Fund.
And that's something we had never had before. We had never had a situation where we knew something was coming in.
Right.
You could kind of look in the past and figure we were going to get X amount of dollars, but we've never had anything where we know we're getting something every year from one group.
Exactly, and we hope that it continues to grow.
Absolutely. Yep.
So would this be a good time to talk a little bit about how the Guilford Community this fund actually works? So Bill and Kate Lee are incredible, as you know, and they actually came to both of us with a challenge that said, listen, we would like to challenge the community to support and gather and rally behind the Guilford Community Fund annual drive. So we will pledge $25,000 for an endowment.
That's very generous.
For an endowment if the community can match it.
Right.
And this was 2 years ago, and the community really responded in a remarkable way, including the bishops. And you probably remember that at Bishops.
The bishops always come through.
They do.
Always come
They're
through.
incredible also within the community. And they held a terrific promotion at their store where they matched every dollar given at the register. They actually collected money at the register and they gave it to the Bill and Kate Lee Fund and ended up giving almost $9,000. Wow. So the fund right now, the Guilford Community Fund Endowment, Bill and Kate Lee's, named after Bill and Kate Lee, at the Guilford Foundation, has over $30,000 in it right now. And we will distribute our first check to the fund this year, which will be very exciting. But we still have about $10,000 more that we need to raise within the community to get the full match from the Lees, which they, I'm sure, will be happy to give.
Now, there's some people watching right now who may not know who the Lees are. And since they're so generous, they're so generous, I think we should maybe give a little bit of background briefly about who they are and why they're doing this.
You know what's so interesting is that I just know them as these wonderful sort of neighbors and community members in Guilford. And yes, Bill has this very fancy job and does a wonderful business. And I couldn't tell you anything about his business. Maybe you could. I just know them as doing well in the business world
right.
and giving back within their community. So you could probably speak more about.
Actually, I'm sorry. No, I don't. I don't know exactly what his business is, but
Yeah.
Wow.
I do know that he's very well, and he's the word you mentioned was neighbor, and it's just a neighbor helping another neighbor out. And fortunately, he has the capability to help in a big way with
Right.
that $25,000 matching grant. So
It's terrific. And
yeah.
they've done it not only through their finances, but they do it through their volunteering and their contributions. I think they served actually as the Guilford Community Fund's honorary chairs
chairperson in the
at
past,
one
yep.
point.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
And so they've served on your board, they've served on our board. You know, Guilford's only so big. I'm sure they've probably served on. Bill is on the Guilford Savings Bank
board.
Board of
Okay.
Trustees. You know, it's-
So very much involved in the community at many
Yeah.
different levels.
Yes.
Now, people, if they want to donate, where do they go? Because I know people are tuning in right now.
Well,
and
the
they're
first thing they
watching.
should do
What
is-
should they do? What
Sure.
should they do, Liza?
In my opinion, the first thing that they should do is give their regular annual gift to the Guilford Community Fund.
Thank you for saying that.
Of course.
Absolutely, yes.
And because by no means did anyone want the Guilford Community Fund endowment to replace that at all.
Okay.
If people have given their annual gift, they should consider going above and beyond that and going to the Guilford Foundation, and they can donate online or they can send a check. To be sure that it lists in there the Guilford, the Lee Family Fund. We call it. We call it the Lee Family Fund. We call it the Guilford Community Fund Endowment. We're pretty straightforward, you
Right.
know.
And
But
people
again,
appreciate that.
Right.
They appreciate the fact you're the full disclosure, and they know where their money's going, and which is great.
Yeah, well, it's a really nice, I think, partnership
it
because
is. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
both basically trying to do the same thing.
We're
but
both trying to
just-
help people in town. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then just trying to do it in like strategically different ways, and you need both in order to move forward.
So we have about 40 seconds left to go, Liza and Sean. So, if there's any parting thoughts you want to leave with our viewers right now?
No, just if you have not given yet for this year and you are thinking that you need a place to try to donate to the community, either the fund or the foundation, either one. We're both doing good things in town. We're just trying to help people.
So if you got a little extra money out there, maybe something in the piggy bank, maybe some extra, pennies in the couch, whatever, they can contribute, and they know that their money is going to helping people right here in our own backyard.
That's right.
And thanks, our deepest thanks to everyone who might be watching and the people who are filming and you, John. And I mean, the Guilford is such an amazing community, and it's astounding to me how supportive the community is when people are in need, and they really rise to the occasion.
Absolutely. Liza, Sean, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
And thank you so much, too, and everybody who's helped behind the scenes here. Thank you, too. Hello, I'm John Cadillac Seville, sitting in for my mentor, Tony Fapiano.